tonight we get to experience something that doesn't happen often. Monday Night Football in Baltimore. The lights are bright, the stage is set, and tonight darkness falls at M&T Bank Stadium. The 1-1 Detroit Lions roll into town bringing a red-hot offense. But the Ravens are built for these games. Baltimore is 22-3 at home in primetime, and with both teams ranking in the top 3 in scoring, this matchup has shootout written all over it. So get your popcorn ready, flock. It's Monday Night Football, and fireworks are in the forecast for Charm City. Welcome into Pregame Live, presented by Caesars Sportsbook. I'm Shelby Lasso, and he's my partner, two-time Super Bowl champion and Ravens legend Torrey Smith. And Torrey, last week, the Ravens evened up their record at 1-1 after a dominant 41-17 win over the Cleveland Browns. Lamar Jackson and co. 4 passing touchdowns over the number 2 ranked total offense in the NFL at the time. The Ravens defense played a great game, and they built a lead and kept the lead. What were your biggest takeaways from that Week 2 win?
That the Ravens are who we think they are. When you talk about this team, they have the ability on both sides of the ball to be dominant. When we talk about the offense, we've talked about a historically great opportunity for this offense to continue to break records and make history. But when you go back to last week and versus who they did against in this Cleveland Browns defense, that's one of the best defenses in the league, and they made them look very mediocre in the second half. If they go out there against another solid defense that's very well coached in this Detroit Lions team, they can go out there and put their stamp out there as they are the best offense in the league. So we're lucky in prime time to have two great teams going at it tonight.
Yeah, both teams 1-1, and both offenses are hot. Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions put up 52 points last week. The Ravens have dropped 81 points in 2 games. They're the top scoring offense in the NFL. Lions have the 3rd best scoring offense. What are you expecting under the lights tonight?
Expecting a lot of energy, first of all. When you go downstairs, you can feel it as soon as you walk into the stadium. There's something a little different about playing under the lights. I think adults have had a lot more time to prepare for the game, so there's a lot more energy and hydration in their system. But also, you're able to watch the players. They love the pressure of being under the lights, knowing that you're the show that the entire country is watching, and it's a great opportunity to go out there and put your stamp on the game. So legends are made on Monday night games and primetime games, and we know what Lamar Jackson has been able to do historically, and I'm looking forward to watching him lead this team and getting off to a fast start right away and playing and finishing in dominant fashion.
Well, 30 years of Ravens football, and this is only the 10th time the Ravens have hosted a Monday Night Football game, so the energy is going to be high at the bank tonight. But unfortunately, the Ravens will be without some key pieces tonight against the Lions. You have 4 Pro Bowlers inactive for the Ravens, and Pat Ricard, Nnamdi Madubuike, Kyle Van Noy, and Jair Alexander. Zaire Mitchell-Payton and Brent Urban were activated from the practice squad, but no Kyle Van Noy, no just Nnamdi Madubuike. So with that, let's send it down to the 3rd member of our broadcast, Garrett Downing. You got to think that some defensive players who are young are going to have to answer the call tonight against a high-powered Lions offense. Who do you expect to step up?
Yeah, look, those losses on defense are significant. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Nnamdi Madubuike is one of the best players on this defense, and to lose him is a real blow. Kyle Van Noy as well. He's the Ravens sack leader from a year ago. With Madubuike, he's dealing with a neck injury, and the severity of that is up in the air right now. John Harbaugh said that we're going to get some more clarity on that in the coming days, but we know that he's out tonight, and from here, we'll see exactly how bad that injury is. Van Noy is dealing with a hamstring injury, and that's going to sideline him in this game here tonight. Now, in terms of who's going to step up, you mentioned it, Shelby. I think I look at the young players on this team, and 2 of them in particular who I will point to. The first one is the 2nd-round pick, Mike Green. He's an exciting pass rusher who has the ability to get after the quarterback. I think that he's going to take on a larger workload with Van Noy sidelined in this game. Mike Green came close last week to get his first sack of his NFL career. I think that could happen tonight with the increased number of snaps that he's going to see. Another young player is Aeneas Peebles. He was a late-round pick for the Ravens out of Virginia Tech, but he's a quick twitch pass rusher who's going to step in there in the middle of the Ravens defensive line with Madubuike sidelined, and he's somebody who can get after the quarterback. Doesn't have the pedigree of Mike Green out there on the edge, but Peebles is somebody who I think we should watch closely closely in this game here tonight. And then just quickly, 2 other notes. Isaiah Likely did practice throughout the week, but he's just not quite ready to come back from that foot injury yet. And then you mentioned Jair Alexander. He is still sidelined, not necessarily a health-related issue. He has been practicing throughout the week, but he's just still working his way back to full strength from the knee surgery that he had earlier this offseason. So the Ravens are giving him more time so that when he gets back on the field, he's full go. And that's the focus for Alexander and this Ravens defense. So there's some significant losses, but also some young players who I think could be poised to step into bigger roles and make their presence felt here tonight.
Well, Garrett, thanks so much. Fans, coming up on Pregame Live, we'll be joined by a former Ravens nose tackle who spent 7 seasons in the NFL. It's fan favorite, Michael Pierce. We'll be right back.
Did they ask you to do the commercial too?
Yeah, but they just gave me one line.
A bit like a Caesar. Like, we're going to sit here and we're going to tell them how Caesars Sportsbook is just so easy to use that you can watch and bet thousands of sports events, even some NFL games.
They'll probably show us betting on our favourite players and teams at all the Vegas hotspots too.
Like, we have time for that montage.
I told him I couldn't do it.
They couldn't afford me.
Towson University does more than educate. We elevate, creating next-level opportunities for Maryland and beyond. TU is redefining the role of a public university, expanding access to life-changing experiences, raising the bar for collaboration, pushing possibilities at the forefront of teaching and research. Tigers are leading the way. Take TU's incredible momentum and make it yours.
You can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount+. So even if you can't count on accurate expiration dates...
That is a rookie mistake.
Or people appreciating your fashion sense...
Jim, the crowd is not on board here.
You can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS, streaming on Paramount+.
Glad we wear our good jerseys.
Yeah. The digital world is coming to destroy yours. It's time.
Sean Aries, rated PG-13. Get tickets now.
It's Monday night, but the bank is open. The lights are shining bright, the blackout has started, and the stage is set. Welcome back to Pregame Live. We are now joined by tonight's legend of the game, a nose tackle who spent 7 seasons with the Baltimore Ravens and will go down as one of the top interior D linemen in Ravens history, Michael Pierce. Michael, you retired this offseason after 9 years in the NFL. How's retirement going?
It's a little slower than I thought, but it's been good. It's been relaxing. It feels good not to have your body hurting when you wake up every day.
Can imagine.
So, man, I've been enjoying it. I got to be a real football fan. Yeah. And, it's going, so I can't complain at all.
How did you know it was the right time to hang up the cleats?
For me, it was just injuries. I definitely wanted to get to that magical year of 10, you know. Yeah. I had 1 year left on my contract, but my last year I tore my quad and subsequently tore my calf. So when those things happen and you're on the other side of 30, you know, I got a beautiful wife, good family. I was like, I think I can go home now.
You mentioned your family and the opportunity to transition. What have you been doing to stay busy transitioning away from the game?
We do some things with real estate. I invest in a lot of different things. I'm actually kind of looking to get into football a little bit.
Okay.
I'm reaching out to a couple people to see if I want to do scouting or maybe get into coaching. I don't know what level or whatever, but I actually got some good friends on the coaching staff. Played with Coach Zoe, played under Dennis.
Yeah.
So I got some people I can lean on to get some good advice and just to see where I think I can fit in and make a difference.
Primetime games are different here at M&T Bank Stadium. Do you wish you were playing out there tonight?
Yeah, you missed the energy. You missed the energy for sure. Like I said, if my body could go, I'd definitely be out there today. But since we are where we are, nah, man, I definitely missed that. Like I said, you don't get to see the energy, the people that just file in the stadium, people hanging out, all that stuff. I'm sure, obviously, you know, Tori, you just drive by on the bus and you keep it moving. But just to see the energy and just the sheer amount of people it brings into the city from different areas of the country, not only like DC area and all the DMV. So it's awesome to see.
Ravens are 22-3 at home in primetime games under John Harbaugh. You played on the defensive side when this crowd is loud. What are these primetime games like?
It's a different atmosphere. So, like I said, the home of Ray Lewis, they bring that Baltimore whistle out on the thing. The lights go out. It's like unlike any other stadium that I can think of. I think we had the #1 rated home fan experience. So you definitely feel that as a player. And like I said, normally those games are super tight. So you know, you kind of tense, but at the same time, you really feel those fans behind you, and you want to get that done just so you can hear that final hurrah.
Yeah.
You mentioned the energy. I know one thing that brings it out is when you go out that tunnel, that feeling you have. You're going to have the opportunity to do that again. What are you looking forward to, and what do you miss about the emotions you feel in that moment?
I seen somebody like Jason Hatcher just say that's the best drug in the world, just that adrenaline rush you get. When you run out that tunnel and you feel that fire come out, you know, obviously it's a big night, Sunday night, Monday night. Those lights are bright. You just want all your hard work to show. And for me today, it's just about being acknowledged. And like I said, for me as an undrafted free agent, fought my way on the roster and all that kind of stuff, this doesn't happen for many of us at all. So I'm just overwhelmed and very, very joyous that they allowed me to be a part of this today.
You mentioned being an undrafted free agent. It seems like year after year, the Ravens find a gem who goes undrafted, they sign him, and then look at where we are now. You're a prime example. What allows the Ravens to be a team like that?
I think it just starts from the top down. So you go to Eric DeCosta, and prior to him, Ozzie Newsome, excuse me. Them just identifying talent, identifying guys who may not fit the height, weight requirements, but they got heart, they have determination, and they also have the attributes that can play that will allow you to play the game. So, like I said, for me, I'm on the shortest side. I'm always the shortest guy outside of the corners. But thankfully, I was strong enough, quick enough to know those things to be able to do that. But without the Ravens giving me that opportunity, I would have never had that chance. So, unfortunately, not too many people did believe, but the right people gave me the opportunity, and that's what I'm grateful for, and that's what they continue to do.
Yep.
I love it. And you've been locked in with this team, obviously, just leaving that locker room. Who are some of the guys that stand out to you on that defensive side of the ball?
So I always want to give love to the guys who don't get seen, right? So I had an amazing understudy who's going to continue to blow up, Travis Jones. I think he'll have a really big game, especially with Nnamdi out today. It's time for Brady to show out today, now that we got Beaks out. I also think Trenton's due for a good game, 23. Fans don't necessarily know. Like I said, I can go on and on, but at least on my defensive side of the ball, those are guys I look to step up, especially now that we're missing Nnamdi for the day.
Yeah, you mentioned it. No Nnamdi Madubuike. He has never missed a game because of an injury in his career. He leads the Ravens in sacks. He leads the Ravens in QB pressures. What does this D-line look like without him?
It still looks good, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it's just going to have to come in a different way. So that guy, like I said, he's a $100 million guy. Outside of Aaron Donald, you don't see too many guys with his stature that can move the way he does and those kind of things. Those things you don't expect anybody to replicate, but we expect guys like Travis Jones to step up in his way. He's power rusher, those kind of guys like Broderick as well. We'll get to see my boy Herb do a few things tonight as well. But no, I kind of tell it like when we had to replace Calais Campbell, it's done as a group. So I look for a lot of guys that have a couple quarterback hurries, and then you also have some guys from the outside who will help us as well.
Well, another one of your former teammates right there, two-time MVP, Lamar Jackson, last week against the Browns. He became the NFL's all-time leader in passer rating. He also has the best passer rating in NFL history on Monday Night Football, a 7-2 record for number 8 on Monday Night Football. He is 6-0 against the NFC in primetime. What allows this guy to be so good when the lights are shining bright?
I think he doesn't realize he's a living legend. And that's something that's like hard to fathom when you actually around him, and he carries himself like he's like a regular guy, when obviously we all know he's not. But I think he just keeps that playful, childlike joy about the game. No light's ever too big for him. And I think he just prepares really well. You know, he does things that may be quote-unquote unconventional. You see him shoot basketballs before and all that kind of stuff. But when you're supremely talented like that, you trust your talent, and also you work hard and you have the guys behind you, you get those special outputs. And now, like I said, I just don't think he realizes he is who, you know, everybody like gets starry-eyed, even as a teammate. Like, dang, man, that's my quarterback. I got to do what I got to do to get him back the ball. So, he's a special guy for sure.
Go ahead.
So what's it like overall when you talk about you had the star power of Lamar, obviously you have Derrick Henry as a guy back there as well. What does it mean like being on the sideline? Because you were there, right? What's it like being on the sideline knowing you have those guys that have your back if you guys aren't having your best day?
Right. No, we had plenty of rough days last year, unfortunately. But thankfully, we 1,900, 1,800 yards last year. When you have those guys who are, you know, will walk into the Hall of Fame as soon as they're done type guys, you know you're not out of any other game. So that Bengals game, beginning of the year, where we gave up a ton, maybe 30, 40 points, we still won that game because that Gatorade highlight play that he makes where he stiff-arms somebody and throws the ball to likely in the end zone. So you're never out of a game. You're always confident that, you know, if we are down at the half, we have the guys to get it back. But that just makes you be able to go out there and play a little more carefree just because you have those Hall of Famers, those guys who can change a game like that.
Well, a player on your side of the ball, Nate Wiggins, what a week 2 performance he had last week. Only allowed 4 catches on 8 targets, 15 total yards allowed, and an interception return for 61 yards. Now, you're a guy that knows a thing or two about interceptions.
Maybe.
Call it a twist of fate, but it was your last regular season snap of your career. You picked off Bailey Zappi for the Cleveland Browns. What do you remember about that moment?
Really just shocked. I made that drop so many times throughout my career. Too many times to count at practice, a handful of times in the game. But just the sheer fact that, dang, this dude just threw me this football. And like I said, I obviously don't want to use the expletive, the things that come to mind, but it was just pure shock and then joy. Like I said, I had just come off a torn calf and a torn quad. There was no way I was going to be a Jordan Davis and make it all the way down there. The bus was truly out of gas, and I'm glad I did what I did. I probably should have slid a little bit better. That's what I get flack for on the internet. But man, it was just probably the biggest moment of my life.
Yeah.
So it was awesome.
I love it.
For fans that don't know, after the show, I go down and I'm a sideline producer for Ravens Productions, and I've seen a lot of big moments in these games.
Of course.
I don't know if the sideline has ever erupted like they did when you caught that interception.
Yeah.
It was definitely a moment I'll remember, and obviously.
That was my Rudy moment for football fans who watch those movies. That was definitely my Rudy moment.
I know fans miss the Fun Bunch on Ravens Wired, you and Brent Urban. Do you have a favorite reaction that Ravens Productions captured of whether it's a Lamar move or Derrick Henry? Was there a favorite one that you can think of?
That we had commentary on?
Yeah. There were a lot.
There were quite a bit. I think my favorite one we had, it was a home game. I don't remember what game it was, to be honest. But Lamar made somebody just look silly. And I'm a big fan of basketball. And I was just saying, this is A&1 mixtape. Stuff you just can't plan, you can't do. It's off schedule. We know we didn't call this play. This dude is making 3 people miss and completing a 40-yard pass to Zay Flowers. It's insane. I remember the play, but I don't remember who we were playing. But, man, it's just, those moments like that. Every team has, a lot of people have great quarterbacks, but our quarterback is special in ways that, you don't see very often, like a Michael Vick. So, I can't say for sure what game that was, but Ravens Wire, they extended my career a little bit because I enjoyed having that little camera time on my way out. So I enjoyed it.
Well, you mentioned that being the biggest highlight of your career, and I'm not going to lie, it's one of my favorite ones watching as a fan. I still laugh at it to this day. I love it. I wish you would have took it all away, but the fact that you knew your limitations and said, not today, I love that. That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But when you talk about being on this field and remember in prime time, do you have a moment outside of that really stands out to you that you're kind of your welcome to the NFL moment that you really just appreciated being out there?
So I played Tom Brady like twice. One Monday night or Sunday night over there in New England, and then when we blew them out here, 2019, and we ran them out the stadium. And for me to be able to get a hit, oh my goodness, it is one of my favorite people ever, the GOAT. What up, brother? But no, we got to play. Tom Brady on Monday Night Football. I got a hit on Tom Brady. So outside of Patrick Mahomes, that was the best quarterback I ever played. Obviously, the best to ever play the game. So that was one of those moments.
Well, Michael, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy being tonight's legend of the game.
Thank you.
And maybe we can get some fun bunch moments.
Yeah, maybe so. We'll see if we can work that out.
All right, fans. Garrett Downing on the sideline is now joined by Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Famer, 10-time NBA All-Star, Baltimore native Carmelo Anthony. Garrett, take it away.
Yeah, there's some serious star power down here on the field, and Carmelo Anthony is one of those guys. Melo, tell me about this atmosphere. We were just talking about it. You can feel the energy in this building.
I mean, it's special, especially on all black. Like, this is a different energy that this all black brings out. So I'm just glad I can be here tonight and enjoy this game.
You have a connection to this city as being someone that's from Baltimore. As you look at this team and the Ravens organization, they have a connection here to the city. How would you describe that?
Connectivity, right? At the end of the day, I mean, we all know what the Ravens is doing, what the ownership is doing here in the city, over in West Baltimore. So, to see them giving back to that community, especially communities that I done walked through and ran through and grew up in, and know a lot of people that's in those communities, like what the Ravens is doing, what the ownership is doing here in the city is just amazing.
Carmelo, when you think about the Ravens, the first guy that comes to mind is that guy there, number 8.
Yes.
Lamar Jackson. He's something special. As someone who is a great player in your own right, who understands greatness, how would you put into words Lamar Jackson's greatness?
I mean, it's undescribable. I think that the level of focus that he come to practice with, he come to the games with, his approach to the game, his level of discipline, the way he think the game. I haven't seen him in action behind the scenes or anything. I'm just going off of what I know and what I think I know in his aura and what I respect him for doing. So out here it's easy for him. You know, all the hard work goes on off the field.
How do you, as a player, when you get into an environment like this, how do you just try to put all that preparation to the side and just go out there and play? Like, be in the moment and just go out there and play your game?
I mean, you rely on your talent at that point. You rely on the work that you put on in the offseason. You rely on the mental part of the game, the spiritual part of the game. You rely on all aspects of the game outside of just the physicality of it.
Now, Melo, before we go, I also want to ask you about a really cool project here in Baltimore, the House of Melo. This is an exhibit that is opening next month at the Enoch Pratt Library. Looks at your life on the court, off the court, and your impact here in Baltimore. Tell us a little bit about this exhibit.
I mean, it's amazing. We went back, and I'm giving the ode back to the city. This is my way of giving love back to the city that kind of taught me everything, growing up, the grit, the grind of what it means to be here in Baltimore City. But yeah, we at the Enoch Pratt Free Library, October 25th. The House of Melo will be there. A crazy exhibit. I don't want to give it up, but the one thing I do want to bring to the forefront is, you know, I wanted to do it at a free library, you know, so the kids wouldn't have to pay. So it's free. We're gonna enjoy it. We're gonna cut the ribbon October 25th. It's here for a couple months. Hopefully it does well, so the city could, you know, keep it going for a couple extra months. So, but it's a beautiful thing to just give back to the city.
Everyone, make sure you check out that exhibit when that's live next month. Last one, how are you going to watch this game? Are you someone that's loud, that's crazy on the edge of your seat? Tell me what it's like watching the game for you.
You know what? I'm a detailed guy, so I'm watching the details. I'm watching all the players. I'm watching the movements. I'm watching the strategy. I watch games a lot differently, man. But I get into it. I'm a real Baltimore Ravens fan, so I get into it. A couple broken TVs here and there, but that's part of being, you know, part of the flock.
Awesome, man. We'll enjoy this. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Garrett. Primetime at the bank. You never know who's going to show up on the sidelines or up here on our set.
The stars are out. They're on the field. Steve Smith just snuck over here on the side. Shelby has the stars on her shirt. The Lasso family is here. Trevor's in the crowd. I mean, Shelby, look at the stars, y'all. Admire Shelby, right? The stars are right here. I'm by the star.
And we clashed because you wore blue.
Hey, it's all right. You know, the guys look very good coming in, but Shelby set the standard on the day. So it's going to be a beautiful night of football, and I'm excited about that, all for this city, right? It really feels like this is just so much bigger than football right now. The energy, you love it, man, and the weather's amazing. This is a great day for the city.
Well, tonight's showdown features 2 of the top 3 scoring offenses in the NFL. there are going to be fireworks. We're expecting that. Let's talk a little bit about the playmakers for the Ravens. We'll start off with Zay Flowers, and what a year he's having already, just 2 games in. 14 receptions for over 200 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. His target share right now is 42%. I know we're only 2 games in, whatever. It was 24% last year. What is allowing him to have such a higher percentage this season?
I think just being able to be all over the place, and he's always been that kind of player. But if you look at the usage, he's in the slot, he's outside, they're handing it to him, he's getting the ball in space, and that allows him to get going. But that target share there is, listen, receivers around the country are jealous of that. I don't know if it will last long term, but I do know this much. Zay Flowers is a guy that has to get at least 10 touches a game. And I think right now it goes to show how intentional the entire team is about getting Zay involved. And that's not just the offensive coordinator in Tom Munkin. That's on Lamar Jackson as well. He knows where his safety net is because there are multiple plays where it's designed for him to get the ball. But also, when chaos breaks out and Lamar is scrambling, oftentimes Zay Flowers is on the opposite end of being down the field and breaking someone's ankles and getting down the field. So it's beautiful the way they use him, and Zay Flowers is one of the best receivers in the game.
Well, then you also have Tez Walker, who we can just start calling him Touchdown Tez. Last week, 2 receptions for 2 touchdowns. And yes, that means for his NFL career, 3 receptions, 3 touchdowns. And fans, if that sounds familiar, that's because Torrey's first 3 NFL receptions were also all touchdowns. His 2011, your rookie year, you didn't have any catches in the first 2 games. It was week 3 against the St. Louis Rams. 3 receptions in the first quarter, all touchdowns. And Eric DeCosta has said he sees similarities between you and Tez Walker. What do you think?
Man, I love it. I love that for Tez and his confidence. Tez is a great kid, a great athlete, has an amazing story, and to see him have the opportunity to contribute to this team, it means a lot. But what that moment meant for me to be able to go out and score 3 touchdowns in the first quarter after not having a single target in the first 2 games, it was huge for my confidence. And when you're a young player and you're trying to get going, myself, I didn't have any practices, no training camp, just came in doing a lockout. Training camp only, no all-season practices. Like, I needed that confidence to move forward. And so for Tez, when you're able to score on a big stage like this, it gets your confidence going. And this team is going to need him. He's not going to be a guy that you need to get the ball to as much as you do Zay Flowers. However, he is the guy that can open up this offense. Lamar can hit him down the field. He'll pull a double team as he starts to earn more respect, and he'll open up the guys underneath, and that's what you're looking forward to. Tez has the ability to stretch the field. He has the ability to run the routes, but he has the ability to stretch the field, and that's what this offense needs him to do best. And again, with that confidence, I'm looking forward to those contested plays that happen down the field here soon. And not only the trust and confidence for him, but the trust and confidence that Lamar will have in finding him down the field.
Player warm-ups are brought to you by Merit Athletic Clubs. I know the passing game was clicking last week, but it's the run game that I know the Ravens want to get going this week. Derrick Henry, just 23 rushing yards last week. That's his lowest since December of 2023. And this is a guy who now tonight, he has 25 rushing touchdowns in primetime. That leads the NFL. What do you expect out of the King and the Ravens run game tonight?
I'm expecting the team to go out and establish the run early. You talk about dominating in Ravens football. Like, let's not get confused. I'll say this every week because Lamar Jackson is doing some special things with the football. The Baltimore Ravens want to run the ball first. They just happen to have a very good quarterback that can do everything, right? So the goal is to always establish the run. One, that's just simply AFC North football. You have to be able to establish the run, work the clock, continue to move the chains. It also opens up things on the back end in the passing game when you do establish the run, and that's the identity of this team. But when you have a guy like Lamar Jackson, sometimes you have to throw to open up the run game. And for Derrick Henry, there's no way in prime time that we aren't going to see someone's child get stiff-armed to the dirt going down the field because Derrick Henry is who we know he is.
Well, Garrett, the King and the coaches talked this week about getting the run game going. They only had 45 rushing yards last week against the Browns, and Derrick Henry said himself he wants to be better, he wants to be more efficient, be more explosive. Where does that start?
Well, look, I think it starts up front. The offensive line, there's no question about it. This is an offensive line in Buffalo that really controlled the line of scrimmage for the majority of that game. Last week against Cleveland, it was a bit of a different story. The Browns sold out to stop the run, and the Ravens had a hard time getting the ground game going. Now, Derrick Henry is as competitive of a guy as I've ever been around. He's also one of the toughest critics on himself that I've ever been around. So when you talk to him after the game and during the week, he emphasized over and over again that it starts with him, that he needs to take that responsibility and that he needs to play at a higher level. Now, there's never any question about the preparation and the work that Derrick Henry is putting into every single game, but he's really focused on starting this game strong and playing at a high level. And again, I look at what Cleveland did last week. I will be curious to see if tonight Detroit tries to emulate that in any way. That's easier said than done. The Browns have a great defense and they play that type of a style, but I'm curious to see if Detroit tries to take that action and really crowd the box to stop Derrick Henry in that running game, which could then open things for Lamar and the deep shots down the field.
Well, fans, it's Monday Night Football. The Ravens offense wants to keep rolling, and the Ravens defense wants to slow down this Lions offense. How does all that happen? We'll tell you after the break. We have our keys to the game. We'll be right back.
He has an open lane and makes his move. He might, he could, he did reach for his M&T Bank Ravens debit card. Oh, what a play! And a completion. Touchdown!
Does it say flowers on your card?
Good eye.
Get your M&T Ravens debit card and make every tap feel like a touchdown. Score yours at mtb.com/Ravens.
It never gets old.
Introducing Idahoan Plus Protein Mashed Potatoes with 6 grams of added protein in every serving. The same creamy, homemade taste you love, made from 100% real Idaho potatoes. Each pouch makes 4 servings and comes in 3 delicious flavors. Ready in minutes, Idahoan Plus Protein fits your busy lifestyle. Just add hot water, stir, and enjoy. It's an easy way to add a good source of protein to your meal. Idahoan Plus Protein Mashed Potatoes. Real potatoes, real easy.
If you got a problem, I don't care what it is. You need a hand, I can assure you this. I can help. I got 2 strong arms, I can help.
With a Constellation Home Service Plan, our certified techs fix your home equipment with no charge for labor and covered parts.
I got 2 strong arms, I can help.
Learn about our service plans at constellationhome.com.
It would sure do me good to do you good. Let me help.
Shake, 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 Sinora, shake your body liner. Shake, 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 Sinora, shake it all the time.
The perfect blend of flavor and heat. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
Shake, shake.
Pregame Live is brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of the Baltimore Ravens. For just the 10th time in the Ravens' 30-year history, it's Monday Night Football at M&T Bank Stadium. Tori, the Ravens have a streak of 57 consecutive games where they've recorded at least 1 sack. That's the longest active streak in the NFL. How do they put pressure on Jared Goff tonight and the Lions offense that put up a 50-burger last week?
Yeah, you love for the opportunity to come from simply rushing forward, but you have to turn up the heat. You have to be able to blitz today in order to get to him. Jared Goff has done an amazing job. I don't want to necessarily say reinventing himself because I think he's always been a solid quarterback. I think he's been a little disrespected. But I think the way he's been able to play in Detroit, it says a lot about his character and who he is and the resilience to be able to overcome it. A lot of people may not remember. Jared Goff, I mean, you just have to get to him, but he can also make mistakes. You have to limit the big play of this team. They have the ability to stretch the field. They have playmakers. And what I mean by that is not necessarily the ball going down the field, but they have Amon-Ra St. Brown. They have a lot of different guys you can get the ball to, and they can make plays. You have to be able to rally to the ball and get them down. You have to finish plays. Marlon Humphreys, my brother. I love Marlon Humphreys. He is a great guy, a great player, and he's had 2 of the unluckiest plays I've ever seen in my life. But they have to be able to finish on plays, finish on the sack. They've gotten there. Pressure's not good enough. Get home. Finish the interception, right? Plays that they're capable of doing, and that's the biggest difference in getting over the hump.
And Garrett, Lamar Jackson is a staggering 24-2 against the NFC. His stats on primetime and on Monday Night Football in general are insane. What does he have to do tonight to keep that streak going?
I think there's something to that, Shelby. I think that there's a challenge when the NFC teams go up against Lamar in this rushing game in particular. They're not used to seeing it. There's one person in the world who can do the things that Lamar Jackson does, and when you don't see him very often, it's even harder to stop. So when I look at the offense and the keys for this game, I think it starts with the running game. We talked about Derrick Henry a little bit ago. I think getting him rolling and establishing this ground game early, winning that line of scrimmage is going to be really important. Number 2, protect against the takeaways. When the Ravens have struggled in any game over the past couple of years, when they've lost, it's generally been because they've turned over the football. Detroit can get their hands on the football. Kirby Joseph is a really good safety, so you need to watch out for that. Do not turn the ball over, and I think the Ravens will win this game. And then lastly, I look at the Ravens and feeding Zay Flowers. And so if they're stacking the box and trying to make life really hard on the running game, then get Zay Flowers rolling, because his ability to separate in the secondary is one of a kind as well. And so I think that this could be an opportunity if they need to jumpstart the offense. I look to Zay Flowers as a guy who they can target early and often to try to jumpstart this offense early in the game.
Thanks so much, Garrett. Fans, we're going to take one more quick break, but when we come back, our final thoughts for Monday Night Football.
Whether it's your first time betting or you've been gambling for years, have a plan and know the game. Be aware of the rules and odds before you gamble. Set a budget and never gamble with money you can't afford to lose. Take a break and consider teaming up with trusted friends to help you stick to your budget. Remember, if you or a loved one has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org for free confidential services.
How can we reduce emissions?
Clean energy? Great, but our bottom line matters.
Where do we even start?
Working toward your sustainability goals gives you a lot to think about. At Constellation, we make it simple. We're the nation's leading producer of clean, reliable energy, and we offer the tools, expertise, and customized solutions you need to reduce your emissions and maintain your bottom line. Wherever you are in your sustainability journey, you can count on Constellation to take you further. Power on, America.
Honey, can I use my quarter when you're done?
You are not getting the quarterback.
Keep the game going with Ravens Scratch-Offs from the Maryland Lottery. Play today and you could win up to $200 grand instantly or other great Ravens prizes.
He's just been really distant lately. Maybe he's scared of commitment or getting hurt. What do you think?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, Bridgewater, you're in.
Teddy Bridgewater, backup, listener.
If only there were backups in real life.
Go.
So we've been
But at least there's Progressive to protect your home and auto.
different person.
You think he's scared of commitment?
Exactly.
You're not a mechanic. It's not your job to fix him.
With the 33 Ravens receptions this season, Tito's Handmade Vodka has donated $3,300 to the Warrior Canine Connection to help in their mission of recovering warriors training service dogs for fellow veterans. Welcome back to Pregame Live, presented by Caesars Sportsbook. It's Monday Night Football at the Bank. The light show, we just got a preview of it behind us. It's going to be epic tonight at the Bank. The Ravens in their black-on-black uniforms, which they are 20-6 all-time in those uniforms, by the way. Primetime games at the Bank are just different. What do you remember about playing here?
Listen, I remember the crowd, the energy, but I'm not going to lie. When I was playing here, this technology did not exist. So having the opportunity to look back there and see what's going to be happening in just a few minutes. So if you're listening to my voice and you're in the stadium, get to your seats immediately, because I will have my phone out recording, trying to see the amazingness that's going to happen behind. You can see the effort that's been put into the stadium to be able to give the fans a great experience, and being able to watch from afar. I know the players don't really get to see it as much, but I will tell you this, when they hit those lights, and they get the flickering, and they're coming out of that tunnel, and Lamar comes out waving that towel. I mean, the energy, it is going to erupt, and I cannot wait to watch. Just the energy in general. I know Ray Lewis is probably sneaking around here somewhere. It's a primetime game. I haven't seen him yet. I can't confirm it. But most of the time, Ray's sneaking around here, and if he gets down there and gets a little squirrel dance going, this place is going to erupt, and there's nothing like primetime games.
When Tori was talking about the atmosphere, I got chills, but it wasn't because of the weather. It is beautiful out tonight. Garrett, how's it feel down on the field?
Yeah, in our Maryland Realtors weather report, I'll tell you this, the weather is perfect. When this game comes out on the schedule and you see it, this is exactly the kind of night that you're hoping for. 70 degrees, slight breeze. It is perfect. It is just the kind of night that you want. And I think that's honestly helping the energy and the atmosphere out here tonight, because I think there's just, the crowd has been out. I mean, several hours before the game, the parking lots were jam-packed with people who were tailgating and excited about this type of an atmosphere. So the fans are fired up, and this is a perfect weather game, and it's going to be fun to just sit back and watch this thing.
Tori, are you staying for this game? I know sometimes you maybe have to go coach, do dad responsibilities. You staying for primetime tonight?
I'm staying for this. It's primetime. It's a little different. By the way, I'm committed to the cause. It took me 90 minutes to get here with all these fans tailgating and rush hour traffic. I'm not going anywhere. I'm locked in. Ravens by a landslide on primetime.
You mentioned Ray Lewis. What kind of impact as a player does it have to see legends, to see stars like Carmelo Anthony? How does that impact the game?
Oh, it is really cool to know that guys are watching you. I know when you see Michael Phelps and Ray Lewis, like, these are your childhood heroes in a sense, right? Literally, we're sitting here with Michael Pierce, who played with Steve Smith, and he lit up like a kid when Steve Smith casually walked to our set. So it just goes to show it's huge. You know, Carmelo Anthony, a guy looking like a big brother, watched him from afar from years, knowing that he cheers for the Ravens, knowing what he's doing for the city. It's really cool to see guys like that around. And, you know, they're coming to watch you. You want to give them a show, and you feel that pressure. You want to win, but you know what's going on. It's a different environment, and Baltimore has now created a home space where people want to be. The stars come here from all over, and there's nothing like watching the game at the bank.
Well, last week, Ray Lewis had a discussion with Roquan Smith pregame in the locker room, in the tunnel before he ran out. So maybe he did that again.
Oh, listen, it's primetime. I don't have confirmation that Ray is here, but my gut is telling me that Ray Lewis is snooping around here somewhere, and he'll be dropping a word that's going to motivate this team.
All right, fans, darkness falls at M&T Bank Stadium tonight. 1-1 Ravens, 1-1 Lions. It's going to be a showdown. Next week, the Ravens are back on the road at Arrowhead against the Kansas City Chiefs, but then we're back at home for back-to-back home games. So we'll be back with Pregame Live on October 5th for a Week 5 matchup with the Houston Texans. That's a 1 p.m. kickoff, so we will see you at noon Eastern time for Pregame Live. But first, it's Monday Night Football at the bank. It doesn't get much bigger than this.